See, I've been in here for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they believe they have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what they do with that leadership. You understand? Hold hands with this boy. Your ass need to stop and ask you. Give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe. They gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that. Everybody gonna be boy, your ass need to stop and ask you. It's about to be serious. Boy, when they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, what the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. You cashed out on your blood, you traded you in and bought it for big. See, that shit the promise, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed the young on parole because of the COVID. It feel like the hoes in this world and double together. Nowhere is gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the show never settle. Yeah, promise. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. You know, like we all come together. You know what I'm saying? They say God so loved the world. God so loved the world, and boy, your ass need to stop and ask you. Give me damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe. You gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, y'all, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask people. I'm gonna step up solid for show. For the fake niggas, stay solid. I got it. Let's go. Let's go. I ain't taking no loss. Ain't no talking when we got the flow. Ain't no peace. Just play with your own. Be low to the right arm. Tell them we can't keep it slave. Not to never let bygone be bygone. Got you, baby mother on high on high. Baby pass through the fire. That shit props. That baby so belong to the Lord. I daddy your body. You never gonna say your bitch I can afford. I prepare start you bring my water. Push your leaders weak. Let them lies slip through their teeth. The ass need to stop and ass shit props. That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years. Right. But that's what the church is for, lying. That's why it exists to lie the money out of your pockets. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to get damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe. Nigga gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up, serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. All right. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Shai Brakathum. Yahweh Shemal Thun Bashim Al Shai. We are the I.S.U.P.K, which will start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Understand? Tonight is Tuesday's night brotherhood class. This is Canada's No Cowards Canada's Tuesday brotherhood class. Understand? The schools throughout the I.S.U.P.K. We're teaching brotherhood tonight. Understand the spirit of brotherhood, what brotherhood's about, what Black Hispanics and Native Indians need in our community to get out of the conditions that we're in. You understand? Brotherhood is a weapon. Understand? When the family comes together and unites, fights for each other, support each other, upholds each other, protects each other, guides each other. Understand? This is how our nation can grow and rise. Understand? This is how our nation can grow out of the condition that we're in. This is something Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are missing as a whole. Understand? Something we're lacking. Too many times today, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we're trying to save everybody but our own people. We're trying to look out for everybody but our own people. A lot of us have wrote each other off. You understand? And that's not the way a family should work. In the I.S.U.P.K, we teach the truth of the Bible. You understand? We're reading out of the 1611 King James Version. We get into the Hebrew, we get into the Greek, but when we go through most of our classes, because of the language we speak, we read out of the 1611 King James Bible. You understand? It's the most accurate English translation that we have today. And that's why we read out of it. You understand? So blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we got to come together and learn brotherhood. Understand? We got to stop writing each other off and learn to forgive one another. Learn to communicate with one another. Understand? We're going to start off getting into a quick article just to update a bit on some of the news going on in Canada. Don't want to stop bringing these stories out. And definitely check out, we got a Monday night history class. On Monday nights, we get into the history of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in Canada. Some of the things we've gone through. You understand? Monday night is a history class. Tonight is Tuesday Night Brotherhood. Wednesday night, we got a law class. You understand? We teach the law, statutes, and commandments that are written or recorded in the Bible. You understand? And tonight's Tuesday Night Brotherhood class. And so the reason I'm bringing these articles out, Salakia, is because I want to keep shedding light on the things going on here in Canada. All right. We also got every Sunday night now. Every Sunday we got a podcast where we just bring out news that's going on in Canada. And of course we got Saturday night scripture breakdown class. All right. But this article is just want to update a bit, which I'm sure everybody knows about by now. And there shouldn't be a surprise. And just 160 unmarked graves, again, were just found. All right. So this happened in British Columbia. The Penalaku tribes notifies neighboring communities about discovery. The Penalaku tribe in BC's southern Gulf Island says it has found more than 160 undocumented and unmarked graves in the area, which was also once home to the Cooper Island Residential School. The tribe informed neighboring First Nation communities of the discovery in a newsletter posted online on Monday morning. Someone said, "We are inviting you to join us in our work to raise awareness of the Cooper Island Industrial School and confirmation of the 160 plus undocumented and unmarked graves in our grounds and foreshore." No further details were provided. The tribe did not say how the graves were found, whether children's remains were suspected of being buried there, or whether ground-penetrating radar was used. Officials did not respond to multiple requests for interviews. All right. So I'm not going to get too deep in the article because we've been bringing out about all the unmarked graves popping up in the Native Indian community. Understand? Our Gadite brothers, our Native Indian brothers. You understand? And we've been heavily covering these stories. We've also been covering the churches that have been burning down, churches that have been set on fire, burnt down. Understand? We went into a lot of the history of what went on in the residential schools. So I'm not going to talk too much on that article, but I just quickly read that to say, as we brought out weeks ago, could have been over a month ago now, we definitely said there's probably thousands of these unmarked graves, and they're only going to continually pop up. People are only going to continually find some of the things that went on in the residential schools that people don't know about. More of these unmarked graves are probably going to continue to pop up. This is only a small number in comparison to some of the atrocities that we know that went on in those residential schools. I understand, but just bringing that up again to say these things need to constantly remind us of the people that we live with. These stories need to constantly remind us of who's around us, of the oppressor that's over us. You understand? All the atrocities and crimes that he's committed, we need to remember these things. You understand? We need to never forget the things that he's done to our people. You understand? And hopefully that will help fuel our community to come together, to unite, you understand? To build each other up. Matter of fact, let's start off in the scripture. Zephaniah chapter 2. Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1, it reads, "Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired." You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you are that nation that is not desired. You understand? You're the nation that's living in every ghetto, barrio, and reservation. You understand that everybody looks at us like we're less than, like we're a bunch of niggas and spicks who aren't worth a penny. You understand? Who aren't capable of doing anything. You understand? For too long, we've been looked down upon, you understand, as we're nothing. And this is how the world views us. And this is why it's saying, "O nation not desired." You understand? We are that nation that is not desired. You understand? Matter of fact, it's a sad thing to see that even brothers want to throw our sisters away. Sisters are just getting ready to throw our brothers away. You understand? Shout out to our sisters who held on and fought a long time not to throw their men away, not to throw the black men away. You understand? Our sisters did a good job trying to hold on to that tradition. But a lot of us look at each other like we're sick of each other. We're fed up with each other. I've heard too many times women in our community say, "I'll never marry a black man, never marry a Hispanic man," and vice versa. Brothers saying, "I'm done marrying these sisters." You understand? These loudmouth dragons who don't listen to anything I say. I'm tired of dealing with them, tired of dealing with their drama. You understand? And it's a sad thing to see where we're just ready to throw each other away. You understand? We want to go to another nation to have some interracial marriage, thinking that's going to solve our problems. You understand? And it's a very sad thing to see in our community. You understand? The I.S.U.P.K, we're all about the love of our people. You understand? I would never marry a woman outside one of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. I'll never marry a woman who is not black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. You understand? Because in the I.S.U.P.K, we're taught how to love our people. We're taught how to love our sisters, how sisters are to love their men. You understand? And this is something that we got to come back to. All right, let's jump to the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 15. Because one of the first things that we got to learn to do is we got to learn to communicate with each other. We got to learn how to resolve problems. All right, this is Matthew chapter 18. Matthew 18 and verse 15. And it reads, "Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. Understand? The Bible is a blueprint on how blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians need to conduct themselves, how we need to treat each other, how to be brotherly and sisterly with each other. Understand? Christ said, people who love their brothers, those are my disciples. You understand? You'll know the people who are my disciples because they love their brothers and sisters, because they love blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You understand? Christ was from the tribe of Judah. His brothers were the 12 tribes. His brothers and sisters were the nation of the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? Descendants of Jacob. That's who Christ's family was. You understand? And even going deeper, he said, those who do the will of my Father. You understand? Those are my mothers, my fathers, my brothers and sisters. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we got to change the way that we're living here in North and South Central America. You understand? We got to learn how to become a righteous people. And as we become a righteous people, then we can learn to love our brothers and sisters. You understand? It starts with healing ourselves. What did Christ say? The law rests on, the whole law rests on these two laws. Love thy neighbor, love the Most High with all your heart, mind, and soul. You understand? Meaning put the Most High first in everything. Meditate on his laws daily. And number two, love thy neighbor as yourself. You understand? In order to love your neighbor, you got to know how to love yourself. You understand? It starts with throwing away cigarettes, throwing away that weed. You understand? If you're an alcoholic, you know what I mean? Stop drinking yourself to become some brawling drunkard on the street. You understand? We got to first throw away the things that destroy us. All these things that are self-destructive. You understand? Get rid of all these demons in our mind that destroy the way we live. You understand? You continue to smoke that cigarette, eventually you're going to get cancer. You understand? We can't keep continuing in sin. You understand? We got to learn to love ourselves. That way we can love our brothers and sisters. You understand? So Matthew 18 and 15 says, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. You understand? If your brother or sister offends you, you need to go to that brother and sister so that you can solve and come to a resolution with that brother or sister. You understand? The purpose of going to your brother and sister is so that you can gain a brother or sister. Understand? Matter of fact, let me finish it. It says, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Understand? Meaning if you resolve the issue, you gain a brother or sister. You don't have to throw your brother and sister away. You just got to learn how to resolve issues. You understand? When it says, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone, meaning something happens between you and a brother, don't go talking behind that brother or sister's back. You understand? Telling your sister all about what your husband did to you. Tell your mom about everything your husband did and didn't do for you. You understand? Tell your uncle how miserable your wife is because she does X, Y, and Z in the house. You understand? That is not how you resolve issues. Go to your brother, him and him alone. Let them know that they offended you. You understand? Try to work it out with that brother and sister. Because if he hears you, if he or she hears you, how do you know they hear you? They're going to apologize. They're going to say, my bad, I'm sorry, Salakia. That should be the first thing they say that comes out of their mouth. You understand? That's how you know somebody's heard you. You let them know, hey, I didn't like what you did. I didn't like what you did to me earlier this day. You understand? I felt a certain ways when you said X, Y, and Z to me. Or when you said you were going to do this and you didn't complete that task. You understand? And as you go to your brother, to him and him alone, they should say, Salakia, I'm sorry, my bad. You understand? Because as they do that, they're showing compassion for you. You understand? That compassion they're showing you is because they also value the relationship that they're in. You understand? That compassion they're showing you by hearing you is saying, you know, I care about your feelings. I care about the things that happen to you. You understand? And I'm sorry that happened. You understand? We got to be quick to forgive each other. We got to learn how to communicate with each other. You understand? That's how you know that somebody's heard you. And you let them know how they offended you, and they just say, Salakia, forgive me. You understand? And if they're able to do that, you've gained a brother. Now, if you go to him and him alone, and they don't say Salakia, they begin to give you a list of reasons why they did what they did. You understand? Then you should leave it alone. The conversation with that person is done. Because they're not hearing what you're saying. They're not understanding. They're not showing compassion. You understand? So leave it alone. And what we do in the I.S.U.P.K is we have something called Counsel, where we're able to take our issues to a mediator, to somebody who can help mediate or resolve the issue that's gone on. You understand? In this school, if you have an issue with a brother or sister and they don't hear you, take them to counsel. You understand? And let counsel correct. Let counsel correct the parties. Let counsel correct the brother and sister. You understand? Because if they're not hearing you, you're not going to be able to resolve the issue on your own. The only thing that's going to happen is somebody's going to get emotional. You're going to try to force your opinion down somebody's throat. You're going to try to force to get somebody to hear you and understand you. And the other person is going to sit and defend themselves. You understand? And next you know, you're cussing at each other. You understand? Next you know, somebody does something that they might regret. And too many times we've seen that in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community. And the reason we see it is because for too long, we have been void of counsel. We have had very poor counsel and instruction on how to live with brothers and sisters, on how to treat brothers and sisters, on how to correct issues and solve problems, how to communicate with one another. Nobody taught us these things. You understand? Christian pastors definitely didn't teach us. You understand? Prophet Muhammad didn't give you
any set of guidelines and morals on how to correct issues. You understand? Because all of us, every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian is Muslim or Christian. You understand? Following spiritual leaders or our spiritual elders and spirituality in our Native Indian communities. You understand? And you see our households destroyed. You see brothers and sisters strung out on drugs, getting high all the time because they don't know how to cope and deal with their issues. You understand? Or they begin to start taking something out of the hatred that they have for themselves. You understand? And a lot of these issues stem from our family unit, our family structure. The things that went on with our mothers and our fathers. The things that happened with our aunts and uncles, our cousins. You understand? All of us have been living in North and South Central America oppressed. You understand? Just barely getting by with some low-paid jobs, right? Fighting with our spouse, fighting with our husbands. You understand? Kids growing up in a household where everybody's yelling at each other. Kids growing up with single parents. Kids growing up being raised by their grandparents or by an aunt or uncle. You understand? These are very common things in our community, and these are the things we got to correct. You understand? Teach brothers how to love their wife. Teach sisters how to love their husband. You understand? Teach sisters how to be submissive to their husbands, to obey their husbands. You understand? To be quiet and shamefaced. Teach brothers how to protect our women, guide them and lead them and heal them, protect them, run their households. You understand? Lead their family. And as we begin to fix our households and our family unit, as we begin to fix how we interact with one another, you understand, we can begin to build this nation. All right, so let's drop that. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 2. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 8. First Peter chapter 3 and verse 8 says, "Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another. Love as brethren. Be pitiful, be courteous." You understand? We got to learn to show compassion for one another. You understand? All of us were brought over here on slave ships. You understand? All of us were sold to the four corners of the earth during the transatlantic slave trade. You understand? All of us were kicked off of the land that we were living in and forced into a reservation. We've all been over here living oppressed for over 400 years. This is what happened to our ancestors. You understand? And we're living out the punishment of disobeying the Most High. Because Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians chose not to listen to the Most High, we're suffering the way we are today. You understand? And all of us are, I think there's a study saying that that all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians we're almost born with PTSD. You understand? We're born with PTSD from all the trauma that happened during slavery. Right? It's not too long ago, you understand, where our ancestors went through some horrific things, right? Even that article I just brought out, the last residential school closed in 1997. You understand? They had electric chairs in these residential schools, these boarding schools. You understand? These Catholic priests and Catholic nuns committing all types of evil to our people. You understand? All of us have been oppressed over here in one way or the other, trying to find a way to build ourselves up. You understand? And before 1969, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians had no solution. In the I.S.U.P.K, under Commanding General YAHANNA, we absolutely have the solution for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Understand? We open the Bible and realize that this is our history book. This is the Constitution of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You understand? As we began to read through these scriptures, you understand, the men that formed the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, understand, they started to realize, oh shoot, we're the people in this book. You understand? Slack here, 1 second. You understand? And as they began to read through these scriptures, they began to realize we're the children of God. We're the children in this book. This is our history. You understand? We read in the book of Ezra where 10 nations, the 12 tribes, went to a land where no man dwelt before. You understand? We read about the southern kingdom of Israel being enslaved under the Greeks. You understand? And we read about the migration of our people in this Bible. You understand? And as we began to read through this Bible and learn about our history, we began to realize that there's a solution for the things that we go through. And the solution is brotherhood. The solution is uniting our family together, treating one another righteously, treating one another the way the Most High tells us to, treating ourselves the way the Most High tells us to. You understand? There's a blueprint for us being in rulership. There's a blueprint in this Bible, you understand, on how to run or how to get the greatest kingdom that will ever rule this earth. How to get the Most High to fight for us. You understand? The world knows about what the Most High did to the Egyptians. The whole earth knows how the Most High brought us out of slavery and captivity under the Egyptians. You understand? And Jeremiah 16 says, there's a day coming where the Most High is going to be known for taking the children of Israel out of the land of the north. You understand? This is the land of the north. North and South Central America. You understand? And that time comes as we learn, as we seal the 144,000 righteous men. When a man becomes a man again, when a man learns how to lead his family again, when a man learns how to lead his nation and take order and obey Christ and obey the Most High, put the Most High first in everything. You understand? As we build this nation, as we build up enough men who are worthy to rule this earth, you better believe Christ is coming back. You better believe our King is coming back to rule this earth. You understand? Every word in this Bible will come to pass. You understand? 1 Peter 3:8 says, we got to have compassion on one another. Meaning when somebody takes an issue to them between you and you alone, or him and him alone, or her and her alone, you take an issue to a brother or sister, show compassion. Say, forgive me. Say, salaki. That way you can gain a brother or sister. Forgive one another. You understand? Be slow to anger. You understand? Slow to anger. Don't go to bed angry. You understand? Don't let the sun go down in your anger. But communicate with your brothers and sisters. Resolve your issues with your brothers and sisters. You understand? Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 15. It reads, verse 15 reads, see that none render evil for evil unto any man. You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we got to stop being spiteful. We got to stop returning evil for evil. When somebody does something to you, don't be so quick to do something back to them. You understand? Matter of fact, don't do something back to them. Don't render evil for evil. You understand? Don't seek out your own justice. You understand? Don't render any man evil for evil. And it reads, but ever follow that which is good, both among you, both among yourselves, and to all men. You understand? We gotta unite this family back together. Black and brown must unite. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we must come together. Gather ourselves together in unity, following Christ. Being righteous brothers and sisters. Loving one another. You understand? Loving our brethren and being disciples of Christ. You understand? Matter of fact, let's go to 2 John and verse 6. So 2 John and verse 6 reads, and this is love, that we walk after his commandments. You understand? Loving one another is keeping the commandments of the Most High. You understand? All the laws in this Bible, all the laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Not holding a grudge against the children of thy people. Forgiving one another. Showing mercy to one another. You understand? Showing compassion for one another. Not stealing from one another. You understand? Not coveting what our neighbors have. Not looking at another Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian's wife, or his car, or his house, or his clothes. It's not look at what each other have and covet and envy what our people have. You understand? But you see a brother who's doing good, see a brother and sister who's made something for themselves, who has a good family, who has kids and a decent house and a decent car, or you understand, they've built something up for themselves. Don't envy what they have. You understand? But be happy for them. You understand? Be happy for the things that they've been able to gain. But don't envy and be jealous of what they have. You understand? Don't put that evil in your mind. Don't entertain those thoughts. But be happy for one another. Build each other up. You understand? Support brothers and sisters. So now let's drop that and go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 1. This is Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1. And it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me." Understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we've been taking counsel from the wrong people. We've been getting counsel from our pastors, counsel from our imam. You understand? And that counsel has destroyed our families. You understand? There's a statistic. Let me see if I can find it really quick. So this is in 2020. Let's see if I can find a quick stat. Because the divorce rate amongst Christians is out the roof. In 2020, let's see if there's a ratio somewhere. Well, let me read this quick. Let's just see what this says. I'll share my screen really quick. And hopefully this sheds a little light on what the Christian church does for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. This article says, "Discover the high divorce rate of Christian marriages and biblical solutions in maturation through marriage."
Hey, Shalom, Lord in Christ.
Hey, Shalom, Adawan, Lord of Christ. So this says, it says, in spite of all the books, videos, series, marriage conferences, and seminars presented in the last 40 or 50 years, the Christian divorce rate remains about the same as the general public. Understand? I'll see if I can find a quick, so this says it's the same as the general public. Divorce rate, let's just see what it is for 2020 in Canada. This says in 2019 there were 2.68 million divorced people in Canada. Damn. Good night.
I guess that paper ain't so solid after all.
Right. It says, and in 2020, experts expect a 38% rise in the divorce rate. From this observation, the divorce rate in Canada is lower compared to Arab and European countries. However, it faces a relentless rise. So now, I don't want to stay on this too long, but I'm just looking at that to say, I know the divorce rate is out the roof. I've seen things a couple of years ago at 50%, 60%. You understand? I don't think the population of Canada is bigger than like 30 million, if I'm not mistaken. You understand? So I know that divorce rate is out the roof. And that article was saying that in Christianity, the divorce rate is pretty much the same. So for too long, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we've been looking to our Christian pastors to give us counsel on divorce, or to give us counsel on how to deal with our spouses, how to deal with our ribs, our husbands, our wives. You understand? Giving counsel on how to raise our kids. And that counsel has absolutely failed us. You understand? The Christian church does not teach a woman how to treat her husband.
Right.
Teach a woman how to submit to her husband, how to obey to every word that he says. You understand? If I walked into a Christian church today and told all the sisters in the church, I told them that your husband's word is the word of God in your household, they'd all look at me like I'm nuts. They understand? And this is what the Bible that they claim to believe in says. They understand that a sister is supposed to obey her husband as if he is God.
Right.
You understand? You're a sister in a household. You should be saying, yes, my Lord. Yes, Master. Anything you want, Lord. Anything you say, Master. In the Hebrew, Khan Adawan Khan. You understand? And the counsel that we've been getting from Christianity, it's absolutely destroyed us. It is not the counsel of the Lord. Understand? I'll read that again. Salakia, so we're in Isaiah 30 and verse 1.
Khan. Water.
And it says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Understand that the scriptures say that some people have a zeal for the Most High. You understand? They have a desire, a passion to do what the Most High says, but they don't do it according to knowledge. You understand? When you don't do things according to knowledge, you are not taking the counsel of the Lord. You are not obeying the Most High when you don't do what his prophets tell us to do. You understand? When you don't listen to Moses and Jeremiah and Isaiah and Christ, when you don't listen to the prophets, you are not taking counsel of the Lord. You understand? And this is why the I.S.U.P.K is so beautiful. You understand? Because Christ told us that the head of Christ is God, is the Most High. You understand? And Christ is the head of the church. Commanding General YAHANNA under the I.S.U.P.K, he does every word that Christ tells him to do. You understand? Christ is commanding General YAHANNA's head. Understand? And everybody in the I.S.U.P.K, we take order. We take order from the men above us because they follow Christ. You understand? Everything they tell us to do comes right out of the words of the prophets. You understand? And Isaiah is telling us, it says, woe to the rebellious children. You understand? That word woe means death and destruction. You take counsel from your Christian pastor, death and destruction is coming to your marriage. You understand? Yeah. Death and destruction is coming to your everyday life. You're going to be miserable at your job. You're going to be miserable around your friends. Every relationship you have is going to be destroyed because death and destruction is coming to those who do not take counsel of the Lord. You understand? Salakia, sir, can you grab Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 20 for me?
Fine. Proverbs 19 and 20.
Come.
Proverbs 19 and 20. Hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in the later end, in thy latter end.
Hear counsel. Understand? When somebody is giving you counsel, when a man in the I.S.U.P.K is giving you advice, you understand, on how to deal with your spouse, how to deal with your rib, how to deal with your brother, your sister. You understand? When a wise man of the Lord is giving you counsel, you need to hear. You understand? You need to shut your mouth and listen. Be attentive to every word that that brother is saying, because he is giving you counsel of the Lord. You understand? He is not speaking his own words. He is speaking what somebody above him told him to speak. And that person that was above him did what Commanding General YAHANNA told him to say. And Commanding General YAHANNA did exactly what Christ told him to say. You understand? And that's how this school operates. We have to hear counsel. You understand? You're a brother and sister in the school. If you ask for counsel, the first thing that you should be doing is be ready for correction. Be ready to take in everything what that wise man of the Lord is about to tell you.
Right.
You understand? Because that will save your life. That will protect you. You understand? That will guide you. That counsel of the Lord is there to help you. You understand? Read that again.
Come. Hear counsel and receive instruction.
And receive Slakia, sir. And as we pay attention, when we hear, if you got to take notes to write down every word that that wise man of the Lord is telling you, do it.
Right.
And after you've heard, you understand, you need to do everything that that brother told you to do. You understand? Not just listen, but do. You understand? We got to come out of the mindset of what was in Christianity, where we thought we could just believe in Christ and not do anything that he said. You understand? When we read this Bible, this is a book of order, of rules. You understand? If anybody's trying to teach you this Bible and they are not speaking about militancy and order and instruction and discipline,
right,
that you need to actually do, then you need to throw away that person's counsel. Don't listen to a man that speaks like that.
Right.
Don't listen to a woman pastor who's telling you about how she feels and what she thinks God is saying. You understand? But we need to listen to the words of the prophets and do what they say. You understand? And if you do that, you will be counted wise. You understand? Let's drop that and go to Proverbs 3. We'll start at verse 13. Let's start at verse 11.
Proverbs 3, verse 11. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction.
Keep reading.
Verse 12. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth.
God. Something that we got to understand as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we got to stop walking around with our heads up our asses.
Right.
Understand? Like, we got to stop walking around like we know everything, that we're some wise people and we make good decisions in our life. You understand? Like, just look at how miserable your life is. Look at every failed relationship you've ever had. You understand? Look at the baby mama drama you got. You understand? Look at all the drama of all the thousands of dollars you spent in court. You understand? All the times you had to sit in a jail cell. You understand? All the separation and chaos amongst your families. You understand? That cousin and aunt and uncle that you can't stand and don't get along with. You understand? Just all the chaos in our community. We got to look at our lives and be like, when are we going to start making good decisions? When are we going to start getting something better for ourselves? You understand? And we just got to learn to become humble people. Because as you see a child, when you see a child who's just walking on the street, if you see them to go run out in the road, would anybody let their child go run out in the road? Of course not. You're going to correct that child. You're going to grab them by the arm, pull them away from the road. You're going to chastise them. You're going to correct them. You're going to let them know, don't ever do this bullshit again. You understand? Don't ever let me catch you playing out here near the road again. You understand? Don't ever go near the stove again. And the reason you're correcting that child is because you love them.
Right.
You understand? You don't let a child go stick something up an electrical socket and just keep silent. You understand? How evil is that? How evil would it be to let a child go stick their hand on a stovetop? You understand? How evil would it be to let them put their hand inside of a boiling pot of water? It's an evil thing not to correct and chastise your brother or sister. And this is how much love the Most High has for us. The Most High saw blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, his children, going off, doing things that he knew would lead them to destruction. And instead of just leaving us alone to continue down all the stupidity that we've been doing, he chose to correct us. He chose to love us. He chose to chastise us. You understand? And this is the type of counsel that we need to receive. We need to understand that when somebody's correcting you or correcting us, they are showing us love.
Right.
You understand? A quick shout out to the chat. Shalom, sister Kawapa, Yah Shemal Afan Bashim Yahushai. Water for tuning in, sis. We're in Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 13. Let's keep reading.
Proverbs 3:13. Proverbs 3:13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding.
Khan, let me tell you how good of a feeling it is to be able to go to somebody that you trust.
Right.
You understand? To be able to go to somebody who you know is going to give you instructions that are going to benefit your life. You understand? Like in Christianity, we would go to a pastor saying, hey, I need help with this, or I need help with that, or what should I do here, or what should I do there? You understand? In some churches, you're trying to run after that pastor just to speak to him for 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Just to let him know, like, yo, there's something going on in my life. I really don't want to make this decision, but I don't see any other way. You understand? And you run to that pastor trying to get some counsel for your life, because getting counsel is a beautiful thing. You understand? Getting wisdom and knowledge and instructions is a beautiful thing.
Right.
right? Like Shalaki officer Zabadia, if I told you I had the keys on how to make $100,000 a month, and I'm like, I got all this knowledge and wisdom and whatever, all you got to do is come and ask me. Wouldn't you be quick to be knocking on my door?
Right. That's
Right?
definitely true.
Right? Like wisdom and knowledge and instruction, this is a beautiful thing. You understand? All of us should greatly value getting counsel.
Right.
All of us should greatly value going to men of the Lord who truly understand what the Most High is trying to tell us. You understand? Counsel is like a treasure, it's a jewel, something valuable. You understand?
Salakia.
Counsel.
That's definitely heavy what you're saying, because like where we come from, we go through so much situations, especially young black men. Like the young black Hispanic men go through so many like situations that if there was a simple counsel, a lot of these situations would be resolved. A lot of the deaths and murders that happen in our neighborhood wouldn't even be happening over a simple counsel, right? And then think about the sister, that sister who was who was supposed to be running for the Olympics, right? If she got counsel, right? If she called the men of the Lord, she would have got counsel. Right. She could have spoke to a sister and said, "This is what I'm going through." The sister would have told her, "Go get counsel." Right? Because that's the brotherhood and sisterhood in the UPK. And she wouldn't have been smoking. She would have still been able to run in the Olympics. Right. So it's definitely heavy. Like counsel is something that is desperately needed in our communities. And without it, you're just going to see countless of terrible decisions being made. It's a lot of bad decisions that our people make on a daily basis because they don't have the counsel of the men of the I.S.U.P.K.
Damn right. Damn right. And Salaki, if I could, just to add on, Salaki, how should I put that? But when you begin to stop thinking for yourself,
right,
and just to follow when somebody who is wiser than you is doing, you understand? Then you would begin to learn how to make good decisions.
right.
You understand? Like when you learn to follow somebody, when you learn to take instructions and do what the person above you says, you know what I mean? Then you can make a good decision. Look at the fruits of that good decision and be like, okay, I know what to do now in that situation.
Right.
You know? So okay, go ahead, sir.
What I was gonna say is, Salakia, not to cut you off, like when, just to add on to what you're saying, like if you trust in the counsel of the men above you in the I.S.U.P.K, right, who are the only men authorized to break down these scriptures, right? You just, when you get that counsel, don't have an opinion, just take the order. Right, and that's one West. You don't have an opinion about that counsel. Just take the order. Khan one Khan the water, sir. Right, and that's how we're supposed to govern as a community, right? You won't have just so much senseless killing in our communities. So many brothers who slept with sisters they shouldn't have slept with. So many sisters slept with men they shouldn't have slept with. They got counsel, that wouldn't happen. You wouldn't be in a relationship that is absolutely terrible for you. And now you're basically stuck in that relationship.
It's lucky just to keep piggybacking off of what you're saying. Like, imagine if we were doing things the way the Most High told us.
Right.
You understand? Like our daughters wouldn't be marrying the wrong men.
Damn right.
Like if we were doing what the Most High said, if I had a daughter, another brother should approach me and say, "Hey, Salakia, you understand? I noticed I took an interest in your daughter. I understand. I wanted to know if it was okay if I could court her, get to know her a little bit better. You understand?" He would be coming to me, you understand, seeking if it's okay or if he has permission to speak to the daughter that I'm protecting. You understand that I was given the responsibility to love and guide and protect. You understand? And if we did that in our community, I'd look back at that brother and say, "You know what, brother? I like the way you approach me. Let me go ask my daughter, see what she thinks. I'll get back to you." You
Right.
understand? Get back to the brother. Maybe my daughter's interested. I say, "Look, brother, come work with me for a year. Come work with me for 2 years. Let me get to know you better. Understand? Let me see what you're really about. Because I know what my daughter's about, and I know what I'm going to give you. You understand? And the day you guys get married, the day you two lay down, better bring those bloody bed sheets. You
Right.
understand? I know who my daughter is. You understand? I know what she's about. You understand? I know how I raised her. And if we followed the counsel of the Most High, if our daughters follow the counsel of the father that's there to order her or to protect her and guide her, you understand? Our sisters wouldn't make poor decisions. You understand? Brothers wouldn't get caught up in poor decisions. You understand? We'd all be following what the Most High set out for us to do.
So,
Right?
so
It's a lot here. Concept.
that's interesting because I was listening to a room on Clubhouse, right? And they were basically talking about they were talking about you can't dictate your children's lives. And I'm like, y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like you can't dictate your children's lives. And there's this one, I don't know if he's a brother or a heathen, right? But he sounded like a brother, but I'm not gonna say he's a brother. But he was basically saying, I'm studying all these other cultures like the Chinese, right? And just all these other cultures to figure out how I'm gonna raise my children. And I'm thinking about it like, damn, all you gotta do is crack open the Bible, right? Like, if you lack understanding, well, first you're gonna lack understanding anyways because you're not in the school. Crack open that Bible, read a chapter, and then call the I.S.U.P.K for the breakdown.
Right.
Get in that class. Learn how to raise your daughter, because and your son, because in exactly what Officer Sharyuan just described, where the brother has to come to him to speak to his daughter, right? That's in the UPK. You can't just go to a sister and start trying to shoot your shot at the sister.
That's right.
Go to her camp leader, right? And then it has to be approved, right? So that's in the UPK. We don't, just Barakatha Yahweh Yahweh Shai, because like if it wasn't for the UPK, like we wouldn't know how to govern our lives. Right? You just gotta reflect on all the thousands of bad decisions you've made.
That's it.
I do it all the time, and it reminds me why I'm where I'm at.
Damn right. Damn right. Salaki, let's keep reading a bit. Salaki, verse 14.
Proverbs 3, verse 14. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold.
Keep reading.
15. She is more precious than rubies.
Counsel is more precious than rubies. You understand? Counsel is like silver. It's like gold. It's something valuable. You understand? Right. Something precious, like we broke down earlier. You understand? Matter of fact, let's drop that and go to Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and verse 5. You understand? Like Slaki, like Officer Zabadia was saying, you understand? Like it's such a beautiful thing, you understand, to get counsel from the men of the Lord. You understand? Like this counsel, this counsel that we get in the I.S.U.P.K, you understand, is far above any ruby in the earth. You understand? Like for the first time, I've made good decisions in my life because I've listened to people that tell me the counsel of the Lord. You understand? Like Commanding General YAHANNA always says this. When are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians just going to listen and do what the Most High says?
Right.
And like when are blacks, Hispanics going to stand up and do what the Most High requires of us? Understand? Not being cowards, not making excuses. Understand? Not saying that I can't be perfect. I can't follow Christ. I gotta deal with this before I come into school. You understand? Like when are we gonna stop making excuses and just do what the Most High says? You understand? When we begin to do that, then you'll see our community change. You understand? When we begin to do that, you'll see our nation get out of the ghettos, barrios, and reservations. You understand? These laws, statutes, and commandments that the Most High gave us, you understand? This is our wisdom in the sight of the nations. You understand? The wisdom and counsel of the Lord, you understand? It will give us the ability to rule the earth. You understand? That's how powerful these laws, statutes, and commandments are. You understand? But we just got to listen. You understand? Stop being so damn stubborn and stiff-necked, making all the excuses in the world. You understand? But just for the first times in our life, say Kanada one Khan. You understand? Yes, Lord, yes. Christ, you want me to do this? No sweat. General YAHANNA, you want me to do this? No sweat. You understand? Your camp leader tells you to do something? No sweat. Kanada one Khan. Get it done. You understand? If we could operate like this, you understand? Man, we would be in such a high place. You understand? The scriptures, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 says, the beginning of wisdom is a love of discipline. You understand? Like we gotta stop chasing all the things that we desire. You understand? Not just looking around with our eyes all big saying, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. The Most High told me, don't do that. Kanada one Khan. You understand? That discipline is the beginning of wisdom. You understand? That fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. All right, Salakia. Hold on. Let's go, Salakia. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and verse 5.
Ecclesiasticus 6, verse 5. Sweet language will multiply friends, and a fierce speaking tongue will increase kind greetings.
And something we need to stay away from is the counsel that is not of the Lord. You understand? Like it's such an easy thing to go to somebody who says sweet things. You understand? To go get counsel from somebody who says something that makes you feel good. You understand? Too many of our sisters, you understand, they go and talk bad about their husband to their coworker, and that counsel that sister's giving you is not good counsel. You understand? She's single. She doesn't have a man. She's going to sit there telling you, oh, he shouldn't have done that to you. Who is he to speak to you like that? Who is he to order you around? Oh, he makes you cook dinner at night? No man should ever do that. You understand? Those are sweet words. You understand? And those sweet words are going to multiply your friends. You understand? you keep listening to those sweet words, that soft counsel. You understand? Next you know, you're back in the world. Understand? They're gonna have everybody and their mama in your ear. Understand? Every wicked person, every wicked book, every wicked counselor. You understand? Everybody in the world's gonna be counseling you. Because that counsel sounds good. You understand? And these are the things we gotta stay away from. Let's drop that and go to Psalms chapter 1 and verse 1.
Come on.
Or Salakia, are you still in Ecclesiasticus?
Yeah, I could get back to it.
Let's jump to verse 14 really quick, and then we'll jump to Psalms.
Ecclesiasticus 6:14. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that has found such and one has found a treasure.
And rather listening to all the sweet words of everybody in the world, you understand, it's a treasure to find just one friend. You understand, one good trusted friend who gives you wise counsel. You understand, one friend that can be a good protection and defense in your life. You understand, I had an issue one time with something. I gave Officer Zabadia a call. You understand, he gave me some quick counsel, some quick wise words, advice. You understand, and it just kept me level-headed. You understand, it was a strong defense in my life. You understand, I go to my camp leader for every issue that I have. You understand, and he counsels me on everything. You understand, the brotherhood that Officer Aban has shown, the friendship that he's shown.
Right.
You understand, that is a treasure.
Right.
You understand, if you're a brother or sister in the school, find a brother that can give you wise counsel. Find a brother that you can trust, that can be a strong defense. You understand, somebody that you can talk to. Because that counsel that they're going to give you, that is a treasure.
Right.
You understand? So, let's drop that and go to Psalms. Psalms chapter 1 and we'll start at verse 1.
Psalms 1 verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners.
Nor standeth in the way of what?
Sinners.
Sin is a transgression of the law, Christians. You understand? Every Christian in the world is a sinner. Every Christian in the world gives ungodly counsel.
Right.
You understand? There's no Christian on earth following the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? They go around teaching you can't keep the law. Nobody's perfect. Don't judge me. You understand? A Christian is a sinner. You understand? When we're supposed to repent and turn from our sin. You understand? Christ told that woman at the well, go and sin no more. You understand? Change your life. Turn away from the things you were doing. You understand? Because anybody who isn't following the Most High, anybody who is a sinner, is giving ungodly counsel. And just look at how our community has turned out from the counsel that we've been given. You understand? There hasn't been any good leader for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians until the I.S.U.P.K was established in 1969.
Right.
And everybody outside these schools' doors, they are living a life of drama and chaos and just destruction. You understand? Just bugged out on every drug in the world. just lost.
That's definitely true what you're saying, right? Because every so-called leader that you've ever heard of for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they always have some type of issue like that. It's just you find out it's like, okay, you're not who you said you were, right? Like, just if you think about it, just every leader, like that's definitely heavy. Because like, okay, even before I came into the truth, right? I used to watch a lot of Dr. Umar videos. Like, yeah, this is a wise man. He's right now. He's gonna build a school. No school built. Okay, because he's a black man and they're giving him a hard time. Wait, is that a stripper? Like, what do you do with the stripper, Ak? Right? I just like, okay, you can't follow Dr. Umar Johnson no more. He's off the list. Right? Well, I'm glad we follow Commanding General YAHANNA, and Commanding General YAHANNA follows Christ and commanded us to follow Christ.
Yeah, I'm right.
So this is the place to be.
Counsel. Understand? Isaiah 30:1 says, "Woe, death and destruction to those who don't take the counsel of the Lord." You understand? Psalms 1:1 says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly."
Right.
You understand? The brothers and sisters who walk in the counsel of the Most High, we will be blessed. You understand? We will be the head and not the tail. You understand? We will be above all people on the face of the earth.
Right.
Other people would look at us as wise and understanding. You understand? Like 6,000 years ago, Moses knew about the Big Bang Theory. You understand? Like they're just figuring this out within the last couple of years, within the last decade. You understand that gases were exploding and forming light. You understand? It's like, what was that? What's that thing they just found? Gas giants or something like that?
Gas giants? I'm not familiar with that, Ak.
Salakia. The scientists are just discovering some gas giants. Something about Jupiter is just made up of just a ball of gas, and understand, like scientists are just now discovering the wisdom that the Most High gave Adam thousands of years ago.
You know what's crazy? Right? Because we're not even supposed to give a damn if Jupiter's a ball of gas. What about the kids getting shot in our neighborhood? Like, what about the brothers and sisters sinning, like that are gonna cause us to be judged as a nation? Right? Like who like that that's how you know a heathen is gonna look at the stars and be like, oh my god, what the hell is that? I need to know what that is. Right? As an Israelite, you're not supposed to even, the stars are out, okay, the stars came out, that's cool.
Right.
Look, one shooting, okay, who cares? Right? What about this high holy day that's coming up?
Damn right.
What about the sister that's not eating? Right? Like that's what you're supposed to care about. Who gives a damn if Jupiter's a ball of gas? They don't know if it's a planet or not. Like they're saying it's a planet, they're saying it's not, they're saying it's a ball of gas, they're saying it's full of water. How the hell do you know? Who cares? Like there's so many other issues that are of bigger importance for us. The heathens, they have no intelligence.
Damn right. Damn right. Salaki, let's keep reading.
God. Salakia. This is Psalms 1 verse 1. Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
Keep reading.
Verse 2. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doeth meditate day and night.
And this is on of what Christ was telling us that we gotta love the Most High with all our heart, mind, and soul. You understand? We gotta put the Most High first in everything.
Right.
Meditate on laws daily. You understand? And what that means is the Most High told us, don't bear a grudge against your brethren. You understand? Have mercy on your brethren. Forgive your brethren. Meditate on that. You understand? When you wake up, think about that law. Think about how you're supposed to treat your brothers. Think about how you're supposed to treat your sisters. You understand? Meditate on those laws daily.
Right.
You understand? Always have the Most High on your mind. You understand? And everything you do, think about, how does this honor the Most High? You understand? If I'm at work, how am I honoring the Most High? You understand? Oh, I'm just here to get a quick paycheck. Got to do this. My boss says this. No sweat. Whatever. Be at peace with all men. You understand? Just kind of meditate on those laws, right? Stay focused. You understand? That's what the Most High is telling you. Stay focused, because
Right.
the law, statutes, and commandments that I gave you are good for you. You understand? They benefit you. Don't go off into some kind of evil. You understand? Don't go off for any second and start making poor decisions. The nation's relying on you. You understand? The nation's looking for your leadership. The nation's looking to you to be an example. You understand? We don't get the opportunity to slip up. You understand? Stay focused. Meditate on the Most High. You understand? You get an opportunity to speak to a brother and sister. Speak to a brother and sister. You understand? You're not going to always have the opportunity. You understand? Sometimes you see a brother, you know he's not going to hear what you're going to say. Sometimes you see a brother or sister, you understand? You see them in a conversation with their boss or something like that. Might be a bad time to go tell them that, you understand, you need to stop dressing the way you dress. You understand? Or you need to stop speaking to brothers and sisters the way you do. You understand? Try to get them to come to class. Let them know a bit about what you're about. You understand? Let them look at your actions. Let them see how you carry yourself. You understand? Let them see how you respond and how disciplined you are. You understand? And let your actions kind of be a light to bring a brother or sister to the school. You understand? We got to put the Most High first in everything. Right? We got to meditate on these laws daily. Let's keep reading.
Slovakia. Verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
This is the fruits of taking godly counsel. You understand? Your foundation will be solid. You understand? Meaning when things happen in life, Salaki, I shouldn't say it like that. Nothing that happens in life is going to affect your life. You understand? Nothing that happens in life is going to derail you.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you lose your job, get fired. It doesn't matter if your baby mom says this or that. If you are taking godly counsel, you understand, nothing will come up against you. You understand? Your foundation will be built on a rock. And when the storms come and the wind comes and all the chaos and turmoil, you understand, nothing will destroy your house. You understand? Nothing can come up against you. You understand? Matter of fact, let's grab Slovakia.
If I could add a precept for what you were saying.
Come on, sir.
Right. I got first John's 5 and verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Like we already have like you start off with the greatest counsel. That's the commandments that the Lord gave us, right? You're not gonna be going through terrible situations, through curses, if you're keeping his laws. It's like Salaki, I ain't trying to make it sound spooky, but it's like once you start keeping the laws, like you see the curses affecting your people, but you rarely see it affecting you. Like, for instance, you'll see like an oppressor be doing the worst or saying the worst things to your people. It doesn't even have to be in your face. It could be like on TV or something. Like you're just clicking a video and you're thinking like, I'm in the truth, and that hasn't happened to me.
Yeah.
Right? Outside of being at camp when these oppressors go crazy because that word is burning their soul.
Salaki, let's jump to Philippians. Got a precept for that. Philippians 4 and verse 13. Understand? Because again, the disciple of Christ, you understand, somebody who followed Christ understood how not to get derailed. You understand? How not to let things affect him.
You wanted 2:14?
2, let me see, 14. Philippians 4 and verse 9.
4 and verse 9.
Like it, 4 and verse 12.
4 and verse 12. Con. All right, I got it right here. Philippians 4 verse 12. I know both how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things, I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need.
God. Let's take that from the top.
Right.
Salakia, that word abased, right? That word abased means to be humble. You understand? To have a low rank. This is the Strong's definition for abased. It says to make low, bring low, to level, reduce to a plane. Understand? To assign a lower rank or place, to be ranked below others who are honored or rewarded. You understand? This word abased is to be humble. You understand? Or to be like in a low state. Let's read that verse from the top. Slakia.
God. Philippians, Slakia, what is this? Philippians 4, verse 12. I know both how to be abased.
God. Right? I know how to be humble. You understand? This is Paul speaking. He's saying, I know how to be in a low place. Right? Keep reading.
And I know how to abound.
God. To abound is to flourish. You understand? To flourish or be successful. To have a lot or to gain. You understand? Paul knows how to be in a low state and he knows how to have a lot. Keep reading.
Everywhere and in all things, I am instructed.
Paul was given an order. You understand? Like I said earlier, this whole book is about orders. Paul was instructed. Paul was commanded to do something. Keep reading.
Both to be full and to be hungry,
Keep reading.
both to abound and to suffer need.
And to suffer need. You understand? Paul is saying that it doesn't matter what's going on in my life. You understand? I can suffer all things. You understand? Because his foundation is rooted in something strong.
Right.
You understand? His foundation is built off of a rock. You understand? His foundation is that tree planted by water. Nothing that goes on and that went on in Paul's life could take him off his course. You understand? Nothing that happened in his life could stop him from raising brothers up, from teaching brothers how to follow Christ, from teaching women how to love their husbands. You understand? You're a woman in this truth. Proverbs 31 says, a righteous woman makes her household look good, makes her husband look good. Salaki, just kind of paraphrasing, meaning you're a woman in the school. To be righteous, you need a husband. You understand? Paul was instructing women on how to be righteous. He was instructing men on how to be righteous, regardless of what went on in his life. You understand? Paul was focused because he knew something greater was coming. You understand? That counsel that he was given from the Most High, from Christ, you understand? That counsel grounded him. And that's what every brother and sister in the I.S.U.P.K has.
Right.
You understand? Because we put the Most High first. We put his laws, statutes, and commandments first.
Right.
You understand? And as we listen to men of the Lord, there's nothing that can take us off course. Doesn't matter if we get fired, hired, we get a job where we make $200,000 a month. You better believe everybody in the school is going to benefit. You understand? You better believe no brother or sister is going to struggle or want for anything.
Right.
You understand? And if the next month the Most High takes that all away from you, you're still going to love your brothers and sisters. You understand? You're going to suffer any way possible for your brethren. You understand? Because that's what we need. That's what this nation needs. You understand? To suffer for one another, to love one another, show compassion for one another. You understand? And the only way we're going to learn to do that is to get counsel from the Lord. You understand? To get counsel from the men of the Lord, from the men above us, and the I.S.U.P.K. Right? So, let's drop that. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 15.
Con.
Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 15.
Con, I got it right here.
Okay.
Proverbs 12:15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise.
For the brothers and sisters in this school, don't ever forget why you joined the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? Don't ever forget what brought you here. You understand? That first time you saw wise men of the Lord teaching you something that had value, teaching you something that meant something, that was worth something. You understand? Taught you something on how to change your life, on how to make good decisions. You understand? Don't ever forget that counsel that you received, that instruction that you received.
Right.
Because the person that you were before you got into school, You understand? You were very foolish. You understand? You made very stupid decisions. And you did that because you were following your own mind. You were following your own heart. You understand? You were following the counsel that you got in the world. You understand? And in the world, you walked around like you knew what decision to make in life. You understand? You walked around like you knew what was good for your life. You understand? You met your husband or your wife and you said, I do. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and I love you, and I want to have a baby with you. And a year later, somebody was sitting in a jail cell, and you two are fighting over child support and what kid lives with who, and you don't get to see the child anymore. You were so convinced that the decision you were making was right. You understand? You were so convinced that that decision you made to go on that ride with your boy, you understand, to go get a phone call and they say, hey, can you just pick up this car across the border? I just need you to drive it over the border for me really quick. You understand? Just drop it off at your auntie's house and I'll pick it up from there. You understand? And in your wisdom and in your foolish ways, you said, all right, no sweat. Picked up this car, drove it over the border. Next you know, those cherry lights were turned on, chasing you down. You understand? Those decisions that you made in the world led you to destruction. You understand? That led to your demise. Those cigarettes that you were smoking was killing you. That weed you were smoking was killing you, making you docile. You understand? Those drugs you were doing was destroying your life. You understand? All those thousands of dollars you spent on your addictions ruined your family, ruined your kids. You understand? All those foolish decisions that you thought was right in your own eyes, you got to throw that shit out the window. You understand? Salakia for my language. Let's drop that and go to Proverbs 14 and 7.
Proverbs 14, verse 7. Go from the presence of a foolish man when thou previewest it, not in him, Salakia, when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge.
God. It doesn't say go if you feel like it. Doesn't say go if you want to. It doesn't say go if you can. You understand? The Bible is all about order, discipline, militancy.
Right.
Understand? This is an order. Go from the presence of a foolish man. You understand? The scriptures say, don't entertain a foolish man. You understand? Ecclesiasticus says, do good to the godly man. You understand? We have to watch who we hang around. Watch who we take counsel from. You understand? The Most High is ordering us to protect ourselves. The Most High is giving us an order to love ourselves. You understand? The Most High is ordering us not to listen to foolish people. You understand? This is what this Bible is about. You understand? Slaki, read that again.
Salakia. Proverbs 14, verse 7. Go from the presence of a foolish man when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge.
God. Right? We got to understand what knowledge is. Understand? We got to study to show ourselves approved. That's an order. That's not something that you do if you feel like it, do if you want to. It is an order from Christ. It is an order from the Most High to study to show yourself approved.
Right.
Being able to rightly divide the word of truth. You understand? It is an order not to let people get over on you. It is an order from the Most High not to let people hustle you. You understand? To be able to decipher the bullshit coming out of a pastor's mouth. You understand? This is an order from the Most High. You understand? To go from the presence of a foolish man.
Right.
You understand? Salakia. With that, I'm going to end the class there. Is there anything you wanted to bring out, Officer Zabadia?
No, it's just that this last scripture that we read, right? You got to go from the presence of a foolish man. It's definitely heavy and something that should be taught to all the young men, all the sisters, all the young sisters, right? Specifically for the young men, like if a young boy in our neighborhood says, "Listen, I'm trying to get money," right? Because he don't know what he wants money for. He just wants money. Like he wants, like, especially if he's a teenager, he wants money to go buy some food, to go buy some shoes, some clothes, right? He wants to spend his money on accessories, right? Someone from our neighborhood is gonna tell him, like, listen, okay, take this, take that, and go in that house and just go chill out, right? They're gonna give him scales. They're gonna give him illegal drugs, right? Well, I shouldn't even say illegal drugs. They're gonna give him drugs, right? And tell him to become a witch, to become a wizard, right? When the Bible says, "I suffered not a wizard not to live, a witch not to live," right? They're gonna tell him to sell drugs. Like as he gets older, if that's what the counsel he's listening to, they're gonna tell him to then go out of town and sell drugs, right? And that's why that verse is definitely heavy. And I'm glad you pulled it because it's something that all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans need to hear, right? Like don't okay our Native American community right now, they need the wisdom of I.S.U.P.K immediately. Now I don't know who the leadership is over there. Like I understand where you're hurting because of the bodies that were found of these children, and we're angry too. But don't go to the Pope asking for, like, they're sending like a council of women over to the Pope, over to the Vatican to ask him for what? Like, what's the Pope gonna do?
Right.
Like, if the Pope was gonna do something, you already did it publicly. Right? They need wise counsel.
Damn right.
Right, and that's another reason why, like in the I.S.U.P.K, we have wise counsel. We're not the Christian church. We don't have women in our pulpit. Like there's no pulpit. There's no women on the podium teaching. Right, because what we're doing is warfare. Like we're not gonna send our wives, our daughters, our mothers, our aunties, our grandmas, our sisters into warfare. Raising children is already warfare, like straight up, right? So that was definitely heavy throughout.
So throughout for that, I understand. So with that, tonight is Tuesday's night brotherhood class. Throughout for tuning in. I understand. We're gonna end the class there. Let's clap it up. And to give the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. The I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. They need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find it in Numbers 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 to 10. Ma'ashra means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We have the memorial of blowing of trumpets on Monday, September 6th. You can find that in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, and verses 24 to 25. With that, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, I.M.A.J.M. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers and the sisters. Men of Israel, I.M.A.J.M. Shabbat. I.M.A.J.M. Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahshai Barakatah. Means Yahweh bless you, brothers, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yad Yamatah. Going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, I.M.A.J.M. Shabbat. I.M.A.J.M. Barak. Yahweh Shamar on the front. That means Yahweh watch over you, sisters, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yad Yamatah. Class dismissed.